Hey everyone, it's Emily. Today's video is going to be my Christmas book haul, and I'm totally wearing a Christmas onesie. You can't see it in all its glory, but it's fuzzy, it's comfortable, and I'm wearing it. I wanted to share with you all the books that I got for Christmas, / there was one that I purchased in a library book sale, which was crazy. I don't know what happened this month, but sometimes there's like not a lot of people, sometimes people are violent. Like literally this month, people are crazy, so I grabbed like the one book that I saw and I just fled because it was not worth it. But before I go to that book, I just wanted to mention my favorite one, because every year literally the only book that I'm asking for is the next Harry Potter illustrated edition book. Like, that's all I want for Christmas. And obviously Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, I cannot wait. I have yet to read them. I swear I'm like hoarding them, hoping that I'm gonna like read all of them for the first time when I have all of them, but I know I'm about to crack and just read them because I'm reading right now the last book, my other edition, and then I feel like once that is done, when I feel the need to restart reading them, I'm totally reading the illustrated edition. But look how gorgeous that is. And obviously all the pictures inside are crazy. Like, I don't want to show too many because I know some people don't want to see them, but like, it's the whole book, so it's getting bigger and bigger with each edition, getting heavier. But I'm so happy they're doing this, and like, since they're releasing only one every year, it's just like something you can look forward to. So yeah, very happy I got this. But it will go and like right here join the other ones. And now, the only book that I got at said library sale, which was insane, is Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. And I've been mentioning how much, although it was more in the beginning of the year, I was really into that premise of a character reliving his life over and over again. And every time I would mention that I was reading those books, actually 2 of them made it to my best of 2017, so definitely recommend checking that out. And everyone kept always mentioning this book, so when I finally saw it there for like 33 cents, I was like, yep, you are mine. I had to own this. I don't know anything about it except that, again, you're following character over and over again. I believe this time it's a woman too, so it's great that for once it's about a girl. I'm curious to see how it goes. It's basically my favorite thing to do, just read all those books and compare what people do. If the story becomes something more like fantasy, more intense, or if it's just like one person and seeing what they do, what decision they make, and if I agree with them or not. So yeah, this is basically what it's going to be for me, and I'm hoping to read it next year. But it's much bigger than I expected. Like, there's over 500 pages, which is great though, because 2018 is the year of big books. You're gonna see that. The rest is books that were given to me, or books exchange, or book like any like gift exchange. Some of these I know a lot about, some of these not so much. So the first thing I want to mention is 4 books which are part of the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. I have never read any of his books, any of this series. How many are there? Like 40, 60? It feels like it's the never-ending series. And I know that there's like multiple series all in the same world, or like everything is super confusing. There's literally freaking diagrams on the internet to explain to you how it works, which if you need diagrams, things might be a little too confusing. So I got the first 4 here, and I know some people say not to start with the first one. It's not the best one, it's confusing, so start with XYZ other one. So let me know in the comment section which one out of these 4 I should start with, because it doesn't continue like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, there's like literally 3 different series in those 4. Let me name them one by one. The first one is The Color of Magic, which is the first one, and the first one in the series. Then you have The Light Fantastic, which is the second one in the same series as the first one, I believe. It's already confusing, right? Then I have Equal Rights, which I believe this one is the first book in the Witches series, which a lot of people say that it's one of the good ways of starting, but technically it's book number 3 in all of the books. Let me put them here so we can all be confused together. And then the last one is Mort, which is another one of the books that people say you can start with. It's the first book in the Death series, where you're basically following death, which apparently is amazing, apparently super funny. A lot of people are saying that this whole Discworld series is very funny. I will see if it's my type of humor or not, because again, I've never tried any. Hopefully it is. Hopefully I can enjoy them as other people do. But I'm definitely curious about this one and the Witches one, because those 2 things, following death and following witches, I'm like, yes, please, all of them, give to me. So, but again, those are the 4 that I have, so let me know if you believe I should start with the first one, or if I should start with the witches or death. Let me know. This one was a book exchange thing, gift giving, just fight for them with your life. So I ended up getting The Last Wish, which, is it the book that inspired the video game, or is it the opposite? But basically the game The Witcher, which everyone raves about, which I have yet to try. But basically you're following the main character, which you see on the cover. And he has magical powers, I believe, which again, very into that. And he's just fighting evil, which again, why not? But it's a series that I feel like I've been hearing a lot about and I haven't yet to read it. So it's going to be happening now that I have the first one. It seems like it's something that should be pretty easy to read. There's like less than 300 pages, so if I'm in the mood for a quick fantasy read, I will definitely be picking that one up. Let me know if you have read this, because once again, I feel like a lot of people have, but I don't hear a lot of people mention it on BookTube. Actually, most of the books that I'm mentioning today, I haven't seen them on BookTube at all, maybe except like Harry Potter, because duh, this is gonna be in everyone's Christmas haul. So I've been mentioning to like everyone in my life how much I want to read more fantasy sci-fi. I feel like this year, as you will see in my reading wrap-up of 2017, my reading has been like all over the place, which is probably why I've felt pretty slump-ish the whole year, even though I read a bunch of books. But I've been heard, and someone got me these books. These are the SF Masterworks edition books, which I love them. The covers and everything, they just appealed to me. And there's a bunch of them, so hopefully I will be enjoying them. Some of them I know quite a bit about, some of them not so much. The first one is The Forever War by Joe Alderman. And this one, I believe you're following a character that is in the army and he's fighting like this alien war far away from Earth. But he's like stressed to come back to Earth because as he's spending months far away with time dilation, he comes back to Earth and like centuries have passed, so you don't know what's going to be happening when you come back home. So that seemed interesting. I believe this is part of a series, but you can read this as a standalone. So again, we'll see how that goes. I love that cover. I had seen that book. It was definitely on my like to be read pile, but I had never seen this edition, which I think looks really great. The next one is Ubik by Philip K. Dick. I read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep earlier this year and I did enjoy it and I want to read more of his books and I have a few now. This one I've been told that it's super confusing to try and explain the plot, so I don't know anything except that people seem to like it. It's kind of like mystery sci-fi and it's supposed to be funny, or some people think it's funny, but it's pretty short. There's like 200 pages and the writing is like big, like so big that I feel like I could read this pretty quickly. But yeah, I don't know what the plot is about. Next one, also by Philip K. Dick, is The 3 Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. And this one is like a dystopian futuristic world where people use a specific drug to kind of be part of a illusion world type of thing, and then they find a more effective drugs that might be a little too effective type of thing. Again, I haven't read it. I'm not sure yet. But people seem to enjoy this one too, so I'm excited to see if I'm going to be enjoying it. I feel like all of these are pretty like older sci-fi, so I'm kind of curious to see if they survived the test of time. This one was published in '64, so obviously a little bit more of a classic sci-fi. I believe this one I might have seen part of the movie because the plot kind of seems something like I've seen. That explanation though. Again, by Philip K. Dick, and it is a Scanner Darkly, which this one you're following an agent that is trying to figure out where this specific drug is coming from. What's the name? Substance D, otherwise known as death. It's supposed to be super dangerous. It just basically messes up with your brain, and then to try and figure out where it comes from, he has to at one point take said drugs, and then you're following an agent that is on drugs. Again, I'm pretty sure there's a movie about this because I think I've seen that. Then I have The Book of the Sun, Volume 1. So there's 4 different books, but this volume has the first 2, and it is by Gene Wolfe. In this one, you're following an apprentice torturer, and he did the one thing that torturers are not supposed to do, and he just showed mercy to his victim, and then people are going after him, I believe maybe to kill him. So he has to like, you know, leave and escape them, blah, blah, blah. So that's pretty much all I know about this one. I'm curious to see again if it survives the test of time. This one was published in 1980, so again, we shall see. And then the last one, I know absolutely nothing about it, so I'm just going to show you the cover and the name. And it is The Stars in My Destination by Alfred Bester. And again, look at that cover. Like, I just find them very cool. So I have this one. Let me know if you have read this one or any of these ones, because I want to know if they're good or not so I can prioritize them and put them higher on my TBR pile. Then I have a few nonfiction because one of my goals for 2018, spoiler alert, I want to read more nonfiction about science because I wanted to do that this year. That didn't happen. I did read some nonfiction, but just not about science. So I have seen the TV show about Cosmos by Carl Sagan, and I've yet to read the book. I do own it, but I feel like I've had just seen the TV show. I didn't want to like have the same info thrown at me twice in a row. although I will most likely read this eventually. But he has two of the books that I was given. The first one is Pale Blue Dot, A Vision of the Human Future in Space. These are pretty like old-ish nonfiction, but I believe the information still stands. This one was published in 1994, and I believe you're following basically like space exploration, and just his opinion that basically in order to survive, humans will have to eventually get out of here, and just overall exploring other worlds. So I'm excited. And then the next one is The Demon Hunted World by, again, Carl Sagan. This one, I believe he examines more like, he's more like debunking thoughts that were probably popular at the time. Actually, again, was published in 96, and he talks about like witchcraft, fate healings, demons, UFOs. Basically it's supposed to be a very like digestible book with all those subjects. So, and then last but not least for nonfiction science, I have The Fabric of the Cosmos by Brian Greene, and that cover is absolutely stunning. I had seen that book and I was interested in it, but I hadn't seen that edition, which I feel like looks even better. Plus that spine is bright orange. And this one I believe is just about like time and space. Pretty much all I know, because I knew I had put it in my to be read pile, but I don't remember exactly what it is. But I kind of prefer going into books not knowing exactly what they are. I get more excited when I actually get to stuff that I'm like, oh, that's actually interesting, and instead of just expecting it. Don't we all do this? So that's basically it. I don't know if people are interested in those book hauls where I have like no books that people mention on here, because I feel like sometimes it's great to have things that aren't always repeated, but at the same time, are people interested in me showing books that I don't know much about, that nobody talks about? Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I will be putting on the screen some other videos that I've done. I highly recommend you check out my end of the year book series that I've been doing, sharing my least favorite reads of the year. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss any future videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.